Hey everybody, it's Dr. Mark Mussman. I'm the Director of Education at the Homeless Coalition. We are so excited that you've chosen to do an alternative break with us this year. We're going to go through what you need to do to prepare, and we are really excited about you coming. So this alternative break information can be found on our website, cincyhomeless.org. And cincyhomeless.org has a lot of information about what the Homeless Coalition does and our education programs. So if you have questions about anything we're talking about, make sure you check out those education programs descriptions on our website. So we have been doing these alternative breaks since 2007, so for a very long time. And everyone is different and unique, and we are just really excited that you're going to be here in March or late February this year. So we just wanted to go through this really quickly and just talk a little bit about what to expect, what to pack and bring, and what to do afterwards with all the information that you get here. So we make sure that you are busy and have a lot of stuff going on, but there's also time for reflection and time for exploring, checking out what the city of Cincinnati has to offer. So we are really dependent on so many of our member organizations and partners that help provide a lot of the education programming. We try to balance education with service. And so you'll be finding yourself learning a lot, but also serving and meeting people in the community and meeting folks who are going to have an impact on how you see the world, really. That's one of the goals of the break. So we work with dozens of community organizations to make sure that you learn about so many different topics, whether that be about wage theft or about homelessness, and criminalization of homelessness, as well as how the lack of affordable housing affects all sorts of different folks, people with HIV or immigrants, people seeking refuge here in Cincinnati. So we are so thankful that we have so many great organizations that we partner with. So you'll be learning different things every day and incorporating those into what you do and what you're doing with your life. So we do have time that we'll do kind of our internal programming. So you'll hear from speakers, people who are experiencing homelessness or have in the past. You'll also get an opportunity to sell a newspaper that we have. It's called Street Vibes. It's really a controlled panhandling experience, but you get so much out of it about how you should in the future talk and treat people who are experiencing homelessness or people who are panhandling. We also do a lot of walking tours, so make sure that people are wearing comfortable clothing, lots of layers. We'll talk about the weather in a second, but we will be outside. We will be walking around. In fact, we can even take an urban hike, which brings us up the hills here in Cincinnati to have a good vista, but also visit the University of Cincinnati. So we also do programs like our media checklist and our photographic neighborhood assessment, which are activities that really encourage you to look at media more critically, look at communities and neighborhoods more critically, and they give you those tools to be able to talk about it and to share your experiences here in Cincinnati. We are also sometimes doing some service projects like these group here from University of Central Michigan. They were helping us out in our mail room, so getting our mail room connected and everything together, which is really awesome. But you can see kind of a sample schedule of a couple of days over here. In the morning there'll be time to take showers. You might have the opportunity to do those in the shower house, and other places will have showers on site. Depends on where you're staying. But in the morning, generally shower and pack your lunch and eat your breakfast. And then we'll usually hit the day with a short tour or maybe a little bit longer, a couple of hours, where we learn about the neighborhood history, but also what's currently happening in Over the Rhine and downtown and the West End. Then after lunch, we'll do another program. So that might be hearing from a speaker, doing a Street Vibe shadow. And then we often work with our community partners like Peasley Neighborhood Center and Over the Rhine Community Housing to have speakers who talk about the neighborhood history, but also about what is the math problem with affordable housing, and what are the things that folks who are providing affordable housing, what do they struggle with? And it's a great place to ask questions. So if these are things that you're just learning, we always open up for a space for people to reflect and talk. And especially at night, there will be reflection time, and we provide a list of discussion questions, reflection questions, so that we want to make sure that you have a lot of opportunity to really think about what you're experiencing here in Cincinnati and how that impacts what you're going to do once you leave and go back to your school. So it's really important for those reflection pieces. So make sure you'll bring a journal, or the site leaders have that available. We do encourage people to realize that late February and early in March in Cincinnati, the weather changes really fast. So we encourage you to wear layers, obviously comfortable clothes. We also, if you have a wide brim hat and sunglasses, because we will be outside, and sunscreen, things like that. And depending on where you're staying, you'll either have a mat or a cot, and you will need to bring a pillow or a sleeping blanket, a sleeping bag for that. Pillow, blanket, sleeping bag. So we do have everywhere we'll have a place that will have access to a kitchen, so you'll be able to make and have meals together with your group, and which will have a refrigerator and cooking utensils and all that kind of stuff. So you'll be able to make sure that you prepare meals. Now we provide just one meal for dinner and one lunch, but other than that, the groups will pack their lunches and eat their breakfast, and then do dinner as a group one day. We'll have a community dinner with our partners at Just Earth Cincinnati's, which is really awesome. So we will have all that stuff ready. So we just need you to come and be prepared for the trip. It'll run more smoothly if you assign roles. So if everyone in the group kind of has a role, or most people, so that you have people who are prepared to do the food preparation, making sure they're meal planning, folks who might be working on the making sure that the site's clean, so whenever you get someplace that you leave there better than when you got there, and someone who's maybe working on the journaling and the reflection, the morale part is really important. Now we do want to make sure people know that there's no smoking on, or alcohol or drugs on the trip, and we just want to make sure that it's a safe trip for everybody. So everyone needs to fill out this participation form. It's found on our website on cincyhomeless.org. If you go to Q, all the site leaders should have them, and make sure that they're filled out before you get there. So everyone who is on the trip, make sure that you fill that out. So coming up, we want to make sure that you get your packing list down. Make sure you have the comfortable clothes, walking shoes, lots of layers, blanket, things like that. All the registration forms to be filled out. And then the site leaders, you want to make sure that you understand the group dynamics of what's happening. Make sure you're emailing me, your name, email, phone numbers. And then the day before you arrive, you'll text me with your estimated arrival time. And then the day of your arrival, please text me 3 hours before you get here, and then 30 minutes before you get here. And I will meet you at your site. We'll get you set up. We'll set up your area, show you where that is. You'll have access to that. And then we'll likely go to the grocery store, make sure that you have food ready. And then there will be a survey for folks to fill out when you get there. And I'll give you a map and the discussion questions and a couple other pieces of information, including, hey, can you make a video for us? And I'm going to show you one of those videos in a second. But then also, that we'll have a survey for when you leave too. And so, for instance, this was when someone had left. They said, I'm most impacted by everyone's kindness here. It made all the heaviness of this topic and issue feel a little less bleak. The battle moves forward towards eradicating homelessness because good folks are in that fight. And that is because we work with so many different community organizations and folks in the neighborhood and our community here in Cincinnati to share their experiences, so you can get to know them, so you can learn more about what your strengths are, where do you fit in your community, and how can you take what you've learned here to make a world that's more just and more equitable. So if you have any questions, please reach out to me. Mark Mussman at Cincy with an I, homeless.org. And hopefully you will be prepared when you get here, and we'll have a great trip. and I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to all our community partners. Thanks to everyone at the Homeless Coalition and Affordable Housing Advocates. We really appreciate everything that you've done for us today. So take care, everybody. Have a great one. We'll see you soon. Thanks.